Well, it's been almost 1 year since I fitted my first Auxbeam lights on this van, and it's probably due a review just to let you guys know what's good and what's not. But before we begin, we'll have to fit some more lights. So these are the X Pro 3-inch LED pod lights from Auxbeam. You are important, nice. And you got some stickers and the instruction manual. And these are the pod lights. So you can have it either clear or with this orange cap on. And you also got these covers, which are especially important if you're traveling to Europe. So on this wiring harness, you will see that you will have two extra wires. It's a white one and a yellow one. So you have a couple of modes, so you can have it on or off. You also have these two wires which can be connected either to your signal turn or to your parking lights. So you will have this very nice DRL. You can see it as I put it on the positive, but you can use both wires, so you can connect one to your signal turn. So when you're gonna signal, these lights will go on and off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect one of the wires to the parking lights of the van. So every time I switch on the lights of the van, these lights will run on DRL. It's a very nice feature to have these extra wires on the loom. Now, as for brackets to go on the top of the bonnet, I'm going to mount these universal connectors. These are also from Auxbeam. It's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy concept. You just slide it into the bonnet, and then with these 3 screws, you're just going to tighten them up and you will have a secure connection. This is a rubber protection, but on the bottom plate, there's just a steel plate, which is not ideal if you're gonna clamp this steel to the bonnet. So what I've done is I've put some Teflon just to protect the bonnet from the metal. If you're gonna have metal on metal for a long time, there's gonna be rust, so this won't be visible. You also have a lot of customizations to do around here. You can turn it left and right, up and down and everything. I've already set up the other one, so you can see it, how it's gonna look. This is how we're gonna mount it. This plate will go straight in there. So now you can see the metal plate is being protected with that layer of Teflon. As soon as we're gonna start tightening these screws, it's gonna clamp onto the top of the hood, and we are gonna have a nice and secure bracket. The next thing would be to feed the wires. Now, the good thing about the Sprinter is that you can feed them from here, from inside the engine compartment. Just take off the cabin filter, and you will have this pouch right here. Now, I fed a tube through it because it's thicker, and I've duct taped the wiring harness. And if I'm gonna pull slowly, hopefully everything will come through. I can feel them. You feel the tape. And here we go. Yay! First time. Easiest way to do it. Right, so the lights are now connected. All my auxiliary lights run from my leisure batteries in the back. That's just in case I will have to run the lights while I'm parked somewhere either camping or I have to do whatever. That's how I will know that I won't drain the battery from the starter. And now all I have to do is put some stickers on. Now, while I'm here, I have to take care of another very annoying error on my dashboard, because on the side marker lamps, I've got some very cheap LED bulbs that I've got from eBay. I've got these LEDs from Auxbeam and they claim that they are Canbus compliant. So I'm gonna change all of them all around the van and see if they really are Canbus compliant and that annoying error will go away. Well, the moment of truth. Let's see if they are indeed Canbus compliant. I really hope they are, because I really like these LED bulbs. So I'm just gonna flick the switch right now. And oh no, side marker lamps, they are still on. Really sorry, Auxbeam, but at least on this Sprinter they are not Canbus compliant. Oh, I really wish they were, because they look great. I mean, it's not a big deal, you just have to push a button and the arrow will just go away. But I really wished they were indeed Canbus compliant, but unfortunately, sorry Auxbeam. Now I'm gonna run through all the Auxbeam products that I have fitted on my van, and for all of them I have some goods and some bads. But starting from the top of the van, let's talk about the VMAX series, the 5-inch side shooters. These lights are unbelievably bright. They have a very long range. They are extremely useful just when you need them, especially if you're gonna be driving through B roads when you're gonna need a lot of visibility. I love the DRLs, day or night, the orange DRLs. I really can't find bad points. There's no rust on them, there's no condensation. Even if there is condensation that can occur, you just turn the lights on and in a couple of minutes the condensation will be gone. If you're going to be driving through countries like Europe, especially in Germany or Austria, you will need to cover these lights even in the daytime, even if the lights are not on. The UK is very tolerant about these matters, but in Europe, if you're gonna be pulled over by the police, you will need to have them covered, so you will have to find some aftermarket covers for them. Well, if you're looking for a discount code, look no further, because I've got a 15% discount code for you for all Auxbeam products when you're gonna use the code RAUL15 at checkout. It's RAUL15 at checkout for a 15% discount on all Auxbeam products. Moving on to the light bar that I have fitted on the grill. This is the 22-inch V Pro series straight RGB white. And couple of good things, I like that you can set different colors, but I only use it honestly on the orange tint so it can match the other DRLs. You got lots of modes like flashing, pulsing, or even the music mode. You can control all the colors through the app, which is great. And you also got the quick switch button between light and the colored lights. Now the bad thing about this LED bar is that it's not as bright as I hoped, but probably it's just because the roof lights are insanely bright and they just outperform this light bar. I wouldn't say this is for long range, it's more like a floodlight, but it's great, it does the job. It's pretty bright, but as I've said, probably because of the roof lights, which are insane, this is just outperformed by them. But it's not a bad light. I could recommend it, not a problem, but just don't expect very long range. Moving on to the X Pro series, the 3-inch LED combo pod lights that I have fitted on the bonnet or the hood of my van. First of all, they just look great. I've got just enough brightness as I wanted, even with the orange cover on, so they are great for driving in fog. I set them up as ditch lights, so they are great for this setup. I don't need anything more. I've got the front sides of the van covered with these lights. I also like the DRLs and the turn signal options that you have. I like the covers on them. It's great for traveling in Europe, just as I was saying a bit earlier, so you don't have to worry about that. And honestly, so far, I couldn't see any bad points. All my lights are controlled by a switch panel, and this is the RA80 RGB switch panel. You can toggle between constant, momentary or pulse light. You've got a very long harness, just enough from the rear of my van where I have all the controls, all the way to the front console on the dashboard. It's a very good quality build. The click feedback is perfect when you toggle into the settings. You can set the backlight colors of the panel. Also, dual panel means that you can have one fitted in the front of the van on the dashboard and one in the living area. The main control unit is very good quality and easy to mount, very intuitive and a great design, honestly. The only bad thing I could find about these control panels is that the backlight from the panel cannot be switched off completely. So when it's gonna go into night mode, it will switch to a red color, but it's not drawing a lot of power. Maybe just a couple of watts, insignificant, but I do wish that there was like a switch somewhere just to turn off the light completely from these panels. Now, one thing that I really like and I'm really impressed by it is the universal brake mount. I was a bit skeptical about this because it's very, very, very cheap. I think it's about $18 on their website. If you're gonna buy some dedicated like bonnet brackets for the Sprinter, it's gonna cost you easily 70 or 80 pounds. That's the cheapest one I've found. It's got a good quality and they are pretty sturdy, and they are very easy to set up and adjust into the desired place. Now, obviously, the bad thing about it is that the bottom plate could have been designed to have like a rubber protection as well, but it's not a big deal. As you've seen me, in just a couple of minutes, you can sort that out with just a little bit of DIY. The 3-inch pod lights are great for these brackets, but I wouldn't go bigger or heavier. I would say that probably the 5-inch pod lights are just a bit too heavy and big for them, but for the 3-inch lights, they are just perfect. As for the LED bulbs that are fitted on the side marker lamps, I am a bit disappointed. So what happened is that they have such a low consumption because they are LEDs, not regular bulbs. The car sees them as they are blown, basically. They work perfectly fine, they look great. They are a bit flimsy, not the best quality. They look great when they are on, they are much brighter than what I had, or of course the original bulbs. Great piece of kit, but unfortunately not Canbus compliant. Well, I guess that covers it. Don't forget about the 15% discount when you're gonna use the code Raul15 at checkout. 15% off on all Auxbeam products, and I guess I'll see you out there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.